people, how are you all? I'm back with yet another video, and here on Readers and Creators we talk about book reviews, book recommendations and book updates, reading, importance of reading and everything bookish. So just subscribe my channel and connect with me for further reading updates and book updates. And if you have been here before, welcome back, and if you're new, welcome. This is Mansi from Readers and Creators. So in today's video, I will tell you about 5 topmost travelogue recommendations. And these travelogues, like, we are so into internet, we are so connected to internet that we know about the tourist places, about commercial places, about where vloggers go and do all this thing. But we are unaware of places which are unheard of, which are unseen, which are unexplored. And these books just let you travel to them, like sitting like here at your home, and you can explore that. You can just have that feeling of being there. You can just deeply indulge yourself in that. So I'm going to tell you about 5 books. All these 5 books are about India, Indian cities or states or the whole Indian subcontinent. And I will make second episode about like foreign countries, but for now I have read so many Indian travelogues that I'm going to tell you about these 5 books. And I assure you, after reading these 5 books, you will just crave to go there. You will just be desperate to get up and go there. So first in the list is Longing Belonging, An Outsider at Home in Calcutta by Bishwanath Ghosh. This is my favorite travelogue till date. Favorite. This book tells avid details of Kolkata, avidly. From the time it was Calcutta to the time it became Kolkata. The changes, the differences, how it grew into this one, how it came into this one, everything so like brilliantly explained into this. Author is a journalist and a travel writer. This book is awesome. It will just let you know so many things about Kolkata. It will let you explore College Street, Sonagachi, Kali Ghat, Park Street and Hooghly and everything. And also, author mentioned the royal, cultural, rich history of Kolkata, those families from the time of British era and everything. And then he mentioned about the slum unhygienic areas of Kolkata, which are not mentioned when we talk about that city. The dirty areas, these like narrow lanes and streets and people, poor, poverty, everything. He just put everything out there. Like, that book is a microscope in the city of Kolkata. If you haven't visited Kolkata, this is the right book. And if you are planning to visit Kolkata, read this, then go there. Being the capital of India during the times of British, this city has a rich history. And even after reading so many books based on Kolkata, so many books based about Kolkata, one can never just grasp all the knowledge about that city. It has a vast heritage, and this book just succeed in like telling you at least half of it. So this is a brilliant, fantastic book. Read this. Next in the list is Chai Chai by the same author, Bishwanath Ghosh. Now this is an interesting book because it doesn't talk about a particular town, city or state of India, but it talks about the places where we go, where train stops but we never get off. Like when we travel through train, it stops at several stations, and many stations are like train went there, stopped there, no passenger left the train and it just stayed there for 5 minutes and then it moved on. Like those stations, those platforms, those cities, those areas, he explored those areas and wrote about them. So just imagine, just by listening to this, I think it appeals you because it appeals me from its blurb. And how like small places, how so small places which are just behind those stations, beyond those platforms, which are unseen of, which no people know of, have a very vast history, a very vast connection to our country, a very special bond with us. And there are places where there's no electricity, there's no water, or people are living like we lived 10 years back or 20 years back. And in today's time also, those places exist in India. And we are just like running after things, materialistic things. We want car, we want house, we want food. And when you read things like this, you are it's like it made me so grateful for what I have right now in current time. Is seriously so grateful, and this is a really fascinating book, and you will just connect more with your country, you will connect more with the people of this country. Also, Train Journey, this book Chai Chai, it just like what can I say, it just decorates the idea of train journey, because when we travel, when we are in a journey, we are focusing on the destination where we are going, but this book talks about the like details and speciality and the experience and the pleasure of journey when we are just traveling, when we are in that train, the kind of people we met, kind of people we talk to, and everything. Author talks about this thing that every single moment in our life is special. Like now I'm talking, it's special. Now you are listening, it's special. Every single moment in our life is special. Along with this huge knowledge about our country and like small places which we don't know of, this book also make you feel grateful for your life, for how you are living, for what you have right now, and for everything you have in your life, every person you have in your life. So this is a great book. It will just give you sort of tranquility and peace within, so just read it. Next is Tamarind City, again by Bishwanath Ghosh, and it's about Chennai, how Madras and Chennai, like there's a huge difference in between these two, how Madras become Chennai and what are the differences. Author didn't take side of any particular like time or era, like Madras era or Chennai era. He didn't take side, but he just wrote like you will question yourself, are Chennai and Madras sundered or are they inseparable, like are they together or are they like different? Because Chennai is regarded as orthodox and conservative in our country, but still it has deep roots to all the modern things, all the new things like technology and institutions and everything. So how we are treating them as orthodox or conservative when they have like deep roots to all the new beginnings in our country or all the changes or the development. So this book talks about the magical or fascinating or moody Madras, and then it talks about tech savvy Chennai. So this is good, fascinating. It will be like you are just traveling back in time and then coming back to the present, and this is filled with humor also, irony, satire, and also a lot of knowledge about the city. And author is like currently living in Chennai, and he found that city most suitable for him throughout his lifetime. He loves that city and he plans on living there for his whole life. But let's see, he's a travel writer after all. Next is The Age of Kali by William Dalrymple, which I recently read for Asian Readathon, and it don't particularly talk about a city, it talks about the whole Indian subcontinent. And William Dalrymple, we all know he's a great travel writer. He is like, he enjoys traveling and he just put that enjoyment and joy in his writings. So he is the fantastic travel writer. And this book, The Age of Kali, he wrote when he came to India for writing The City of Djinns. So he was there for the City of Djinns and he wrote this book, The Age of Kali. And this is a good book. It talks about like traditions and cultural values of Hindu cosmology, like from ancient times, and how even today Hinduism or Hindi people are just clinging to those things tightly. They are not letting it go. The religion, the traditions, the cultures. He talks about all of this, and he is like amused with diversity of cultures in India, diversity of caste, religion, traditions. He is amused by that because he is from an outer country and he hasn't seen that, and he enjoys that diversity. He says in this book that India has this unique and incredible gift of diversity and it should just like embrace it. But this Kali Yuga in which we are living, the age of Kali, Kali Yuga, corruption, darkness, and every wrong thing is engulfing it. It's hollowing it from inside, and he is like sad for that because he finds the soul of India in that diversity, but he's is seeing that India is losing its soul, so he is just expressing his saddening thoughts about it. And this is a good book. And in the climax of book, he also talked about some part of Sri Lanka and Pakistan where he traveled and interviewed Imran Khan and Benazir Bhutto and Sri Lankan president. And that's a short part in the climax, but overall it's about Indian subcontinent, and it's a good book, really good book. It was written years back, but even today many things are like so true, that political things, those corruption, those crime rate and everything, that is so true. And he expressed it so beautifully, like he is telling you the truth on your face and you can't just deny it, you have to accept it. It's the truth, so you have to accept that. Next is The Indian Ferment, which I recently finished, and it's a fantastic book. I didn't even know of this book because Bookstagram didn't talk about this, and I'm so sorry for that, because we have to explore books from out of Bookstagram also. But this book I got from my uncle, and it's a great book. It talks about India from 1920s when it was under British rule, and the author H.G. Alexander, he is not an author. He is an English teacher, he is a Quaker, he is an ornithologist who studies birds, and he came to India for doing that. But he just started writing his journal, his experience of India, his experience of Indian people and everything, and then it was published as a book. And I am grateful for that, because this is a perspective of an Englishman for Indians during the time of British rule. Now just imagine. And this person, he became a personal friend of Gandhi later, and this book is humorous, and it is like author is so patient when he talks about his conversation with Indians and how Indians are talking about British, or how Indians are talking about themselves or other Indians. He is so patient, he is so calm, he is just listening, observing, and later on he is writing that in his journal, which is a book. So this is a great book. This will also hurt your sentiments. It hurt my sentiments also so much, but like in this paragraph I'm like, why are you talking like that, I'm an Indian, don't say that. And after the reading 2-3 more paragraphs, at the end of page I'm like, oh yeah, you are right. So that feeling, it hurts my sentiments, but he is right. And this writing is good because many people have wrote about the British rule times, and many people have wrote about the torture and the changes Indians have after independence also, but I haven't read any British man's perspective to this, and this book gave me that was so good. And this is a good book. This will feel like you are reading someone's diary, a journal type of writing. So this book talks about the bygone era of India, not the current times, but still I think people need to read an Englishman's perspective to British rule times and everything. So yeah, these were the 5 books, 5 travelogues, and I hope you might have read any, or if you haven't, just read. Please just start with Chai Chai or Longing Belonging. I am highly recommending them. If you have read any, just tell me in comments you liked it or not, or whatever. And if you are planning on reading some books, tell me that in comments, or give the feedback about this video in comments. Just comment, just subscribe, and just tell me, because that motivates me to make more videos regarding this, or recommendations, or everything. So yeah, I will come up with episode 2 of this travelogue recommendations, but for now these are these 5 books. Just read them, and if you can't travel in these times, we shouldn't, just read them. And like, comment, share and subscribe, and follow me on Readers and Creators. And yeah, till then, keep reading, be happy, be safe. Bye bye.